Marvel, DC did not come to play with you hoes, sweetie. They came to slay. So let's just get this out of the way. I've been seeing this a lot, and I guess it's maybe because marketing and where we're at right now in this nation as a people. Wonder Woman is a great female-driven, comic book, and the movie is pretty good. Not hating, but the comics, ugh. Well, we're never going to get the comics on screen, ever. There have been a lot of people saying this is a movie for women. Then people are like, this is a movie just for white women. This is women of color are excluded. Listen, I'm not reviewing it in that aspect because I never looked at Wonder Woman as like a movie for me. Like, that's what Black Panther is for. So I'm just going to go into it as a comic book fan, which I have been since I was 14 years old. So I'm just going to review it as that. I'm not trying to review it as a woman and trying to like find female empowering things, because she isn't the first like standalone comic book character that's had a movie. The movies we've had for women have not been as good as this, but she's not the first. And maybe some people are too young to remember Elektra and Catwoman, or maybe they just want to forget them, but she's not the first. And I will talk about some empowering things that I found for women, but I never went into it as a Black woman thinking that this is like a feminist icon for myself. Like, I get who this is being marketed to, and I'm not going in as that person. I'm going in as a comic book fan. So here is my Wonder Woman review. Starting off, Patty Jenkins, girl, you did that. You could tell right off the bat that this movie had like a woman's touch, because it was very soft and intellectual. Not saying that, men directors are not smart, but I could tell there was just a sense of very of sweetness and softness to this film that you don't find in a lot of comic book films. And also, it was shot beautifully. Like, I wanted to go to the Mysteria. I think that's what it's called. I wanted to go there. It looked so gorgeous. There were a lot of colors, and I was shocked at how much color was in this movie, because if you know, like DC, at least with this where they've been going, I think since Batman has always been very, very dark, and they don't do a lot of colors. So I was surprised that it was this much color in Wonder Woman, but it was beautifully shot. The cinematography, everything was just great. I really, really enjoyed that part. Girl, the Amazons, they need their own movie. I don't know if DC will do that, but I needed more Amazons. I loved them in this movie. They were the perfect scenery. You know what I mean? Like, they really set the tone for me about the Mysteria and who the Amazons are, and what little bit of screen time that they had. I wanted more. Every time they were on screen, every time an Amazon spoke, I was like, I want to know more about her. I want to know more about her. What is this relationship here? Because they were just so interesting. Like, I mean, our first introduction into the Amazon, one girl is shooting a bow and arrow, then homegirl flips over backwards and then shoots it while she's hanging down. Then another girl is like, they're fighting, because I guess they do like a lot of training, and so they're fighting, and then one Amazon comes up and hit the others in the back, hit the other girl in the back. Homegirl isn't even fazed by it. She turns around, she knocks her off, and they're just going like sword fighting. And I was just like, oh my goodness, give them their own movie. This was so much more interesting than I think like about half an hour of the movie. And I get it. They were trying to tell a story to get us to understand the Justice League and maybe tie into another movie. But I wanted more Amazons. I wanted more Amazons. And also, for the diversity aspect, there were a lot of women of color who were Amazons as extras. Well, speaking of some women of color Amazons, Ann Wolfe, who was a professional boxer, she was the Amazon that I was speaking about that was like hit with, I think, a spear and was unfazed and turned around and chucked another girl like off this rock that she was standing on. She left a huge impression with me and with a lot of the fans, because a lot of people were talking about her before I even saw the movie. So I already went in knowing her name, but not knowing what character that she was playing. And then after I saw the movie, I looked her up and I was like, oh, so this is the Ann that everybody is talking about. She left a great impression. A lot of the Amazons left a great impression, and I just wish we would have had a bit more time to find out who each and every person was. I don't think they had the time to go through each and every person, but it would have been nice to know a little bit more about the Amazons. So they kept on focusing on this one girl, I guess because she's a Victoria's Secret model. They wanted to be like, look, we got a Victoria's Secret model in the movie. I don't know why, but she had so many shots that it was just like, give her a line or let us know who she is, because if nobody knows she's a Victoria's Secret model, it just seems really odd that she's getting all these close-ups. So I'm hoping that she wasn't getting these close-ups because she's a Victoria's Secret model, but it seems like that's what's happening here. Gal Gadot, I think she did a really, really good job. I do believe that there are a lot of people who did not think that she was a great Wonder Woman, and I kind of understand where they're coming from. Hear me out. Gal Gadot's a beautiful woman. I think she started out as a model and then turned into like an actress and action star back in Israel, where she's from. I don't know her of being in a lot of things. I think she was in Fast and the Furious, so I don't know what agent this girl had to get her this role, because to American audience, she's like fairly new. So the fact that homegirl beat out like a lot of American actresses and got this role, I don't know what the connection is there. I don't know if she comes from money. Like, I don't know what it is. And, you know, she also could have just done the best in the auditions, but I was just really shocked that they went with somebody who was fairly unknown. But also, I think that that gives hope to people who are, you know, trying to break into this business and get some meaty roles, that they're letting them know that these roles are not just going to like well-known A-listers. So I think that's good as well. There are a lot of people who just did not think that she was the best representation, and I think that's coming from the fact that, one, people are using her modeling career against her, and two, she is not like a well-known seasoned actress in America. So I feel like there was a lot of negativity going towards her that way. And then I think the main reason is because we're in America, we're obsessed with Wonder Woman as Linda Carter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Wonder Woman was my mother's generation, but who didn't grow up with Nick at Night, you know? So I became obsessed with Wonder Woman through that, and then the newer version of Wonder Woman from the comic books that I read as a teen and now an adult. So I think that's what we're obsessed with, and I think because this movie is geared towards American audiences, we wanted, a lot of people wanted a different kind of Wonder Woman. So I totally get that. And I also feel like with my generation, we're obsessed with Xena Warrior Princess. And I think we're all going into Wonder Woman wanting her to be Xena Warrior Princess, but she's not, guys. Like, I had to, and it was still pretty hard for me, because when she was announced that she would be the Wonder Woman, I was doing research, checking her IMDb. I was like, who is this and why? She is a size 0. Wonder Woman would never. But again, this is Hollywood. So they have to, I guess the way they picked stuff, we as the viewing audience, it'll never make sense to us, but they picked her and she got the role. But I had to even check myself, because I was very upset about the casting, and then I went into the movie and I still kind of felt some sort of way, and I was kind of won over by the end, but I was won over when I had to realize that she's not going to be Xena. She's not going to be like this strong Amazon warrior that that a lot of people had anticipated her to be. She's Gal Gadot, and she's playing a comic book character, you know, that Hollywood put together in this kind of movie form. For whatever reason, they chose her, and I think for what she was given, I think she did a fairly good job. Like, I wasn't, I don't think that she deserved a lot of the negativity, and maybe this is a fellow actress speaking. I just feel like she did what she was given, and she, you know, she sold it for me. But again, I went in as a comic book fan, so it wasn't Batman versus Superman, okay? Robin Wright was the best thing that ever happened to this movie. No shade, Wonder Woman, but this girl stole your light for me. She was so phenomenal on camera. I loved everything about her in this movie. Every time she was in the scene, I just sat up in my chair and I was just focused on the movie screen, because she was phenomenal. She played Wonder Woman's aunt, and she was trying to train her so that she could be ready to battle Ares. And let me tell you something, Robin Wright is 51 years old. Mother was wielding that sword. She was holding her stance in battle like it was nothing. I was so proud of the work that she did. I mean, you would have never expected Robin Wright to be a believable Amazon, but Mother had it. And oh my gosh, it was one part, I'm skipping ahead, but excuse me, I gotta talk about it. It's one part when she's in battle and she yells to homegirl, shield. Homegirl puts the shield up. Robin Wright jumps on the shield, flips over, and with a bow and arrow, shoots 3 bow and arrows on, takes out 3 Nazis. I was like, girl, yes. She was seriously the best thing for me in this movie. I mean, her life was cut short. I wanted more of her. Like, I wanted more of the freaking Amazons. But she was just so good and believable. And I love Chris Pine was an obvious choice for this role. He slayed it. Like, he was so funny. He got the most laughs out of anybody in this movie. You could tell that he's a really well-trained actor because when he would say like just a simple line, it was said with such comedic delivery that the audience was like in an uproar. Like, he did a great job. To be honest, this sorry, Gail. This movie was a Wonder Woman film, but it wasn't really, you know, Captain Steve's, was it Captain Steve? Steve, whoever Chris Pine played, he had a huge part, and it was really, you know, it was his movie as well. His character had such a strong reaction with the audience. Like, we just loved watching him. We loved seeing him. Really great in the role that he played to Wonder Woman. I think he complimented her beautifully, and he really helped take the story along to another level. His secretary, played by Lucy Davis, was also hilarious as well. Like, she didn't have a lot of lines, but just her facial expressions and the one-liners that she would have, hilarious. Like, you know, Gal Gadot really benefited from a great supporting cast, and that is not a read and that is no shade. As an actor, you want to be in a place where you are with better actors, or actors who have a grasp of the material a bit faster or easier than you, because you can learn from that. And I really think that in a lot of her scenes with Chris Pine and Lucy Davis, they made her, you know, they made her get to their level, and she was able to like play off of them very, very well. And that's why I say that she benefited from that. Hell, if I'm in a movie with Denzel Washington or Viola Davis, let me tell you something. I may go from, you know, my stage church play acting to next thing you know, I'm Cicely Tyson, because I'm standing next to these two people who are phenomenal actors who are making me be great. You know what I'm saying? So I really think that she had a well-rounded cast, from Chris Pine to Lucy Davis to the crew. Everybody that she worked with was so well seasoned. Their lines were delivered flawlessly. They knew exactly what they were doing, and I just really feel like this movie set her up to win. And girl, props to you. I want something like that, okay? I thoroughly enjoyed the fight scenes. I wish there were more. I don't know, guys. I felt like this movie, great. I enjoyed it, but I just felt like it was so much story. And is this the formula of DC? I don't remember a lot of their movies. You know what? DC is really a story-driven comic book, like, movie genre. I just made all of that up. What I'm trying to say is a lot of the DC comic book hero movies are really story-based. There's not a lot of action. Is that on purpose? I like the fight scenes. I just wanted more. I wanted more Wonder Woman with her sword. I wanted more Wonder Woman with the lasso. I just wanted more fight scenes, more action, and I just got so much story, which I'm thankful for. I didn't want all of that. I wanted to see her kick butt more. But we got what we got. I was happy with. I just wanted more of it. Also, there was no blood, like, anywhere besides like a little scratch that you would see, a little bloody scratch, but not even a lot of blood on that. I don't know why they took away the blood. I don't know if it's because it was geared towards children, or if because the movie is female based and they don't think that women like blood. But I mean, we have a period, so we can handle blood, okay? So I don't understand why there wasn't any blood. Like, Wonder Woman stabbed a character through the chest, and there was no, like, and when Chris Pine came to find out where she was at, he looked up and he saw like a sword through the roof, but there was like no blood dripping down the sword. That would have been awesome if there was blood dripping down from the sword. And even when a couple of the Amazons were shot, no blood. They get shot straight through the chest and there's no blood. Even when Wonder Woman was comforting her aunt, played by Robin Wright, who was shot through the chest, it was so weird because she was like touching the blood and the imaginary blood, and she was reacting to the blood, but there was no blood on her hands, no blood on Robin. And I don't know if she was told that there was going to be blood at some point, or maybe just like a normal person, she expected there to be blood because somebody was shot through the chest with a bullet, but there was nothing there. So I don't know why they removed the blood. Thinking back, do comic book movies remove the blood because of kids? But then I think back to Civil War, which, can I tell you, there has been nothing greater than that. Black Panther might be the greatest thing, but we still don't know. But Captain America, Civil War, phenomenal. And there was blood. There was a lot of bone crushing as well. So I don't know why they removed that, because even in that fight with Iron Man, Captain America and his lover, there was blood, there was bones crushing. Even when Homeboy took the shield and like cracked his skull, like that was kind of gory. So I don't know why they ever removed it. Speaking of that, is anybody following Chris Evans on Twitter? Because yes. Dr. Poison, like the Amazons, I just wanted more of their story. I don't know why we were focused so much on, I don't know why we were so focused on just this one storyline of Wonder Woman getting to fight Ares, when there were so many other dynamic characters that they had the time to talk about, because this movie was almost like 2.5 hours. And to be quite honest, I could have done it in an hour and a half. And maybe it's the birth of the iPhones that are making us like, we can't sit through like 2-hour productions anymore. Maybe that's it. But I just felt like I got it in an hour and a half. You know what I mean? I would have wanted, if we were going to focus on anything else, I would have wanted to focus a bit more storylines with the Amazons, with the crew. Also, I would have really liked to learn a bit more about Dr. Poison. She was played by a phenomenal actress. She had really great timing. Her delivery was on point. I just enjoyed watching her, and I didn't get enough of her. So it was really hard for me to like not like her, because she didn't grow to be like this evil character. There just wasn't enough information, just like she creates this poison. But the actress was playing it in a way where it wasn't, there was something more going on, and we never got to it. Maybe we'll get to it in another movie, because she does survive. So I don't know, but there were just so many supporting characters that were very, very interesting. And I think we could have learned about them in the time that they had. Here, I want to be an actor, but I'm the wrong color. Message. The guy that played Ares, I couldn't get into him as Ares, because I don't know. You just see Ares as this really, really strong guy. And then he talks about how he was hurt, and that's why he's too weak to fight. But even when he became like Ares in his form with the armor, he was still like giving me like this sickly, are you being served like kind of character. And it was odd. It was really, really odd. I guess I was just expecting a different Ares, and when we got to him, it was just like, oh, okay. He's a great actor. He's a great actor. It was just weird seeing him as Ares in his final form, and he was still that guy. I thought that when he became Ares, because he got like all these muscles and the armor and everything, his hands changed, and when you look into the mask, it's still him. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I was just trying to find some things to talk about, because I don't want to go in and just be like, this movie is the best thing that ever happened. I would have done that if I reviewed Captain America Civil War, though. And I might do that for Spider-Man, because have you seen that trailer? Anyway, I just wanted to just talk about some things that stuck out to me. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was worth the $16, man. LA is raping us out here. I still think it was worth the money that I paid. I had a great experience, and even had some fun fan conversations after. So I think you should go see it. I do think that it is a family-friendly movie, because there's no blood. The action scenes are great, but they're not violent. There is an overall sense of female empowerment, but I think that's mainly with the Amazons. When Wonder Woman leaves, she plays like this very naive kind of childlike person, and I get it, because she's in a different space, but you don't really, the female empowerment sense kind of leaves until the end, when she goes into battle and she leads the men. And having said that, Wonder Woman is a perfect example of what happens when women lead. There is this theme where the men are trying to, basically, no shade, a cockfighting test, and they're going into war just blindly, and off of greed, off of machismo, and there's not a lot of thought for the people who are going to be in the carnage, you know what I mean, who are basically going to be wasted away in this war. And Wonder Woman, as a woman, getting deep, she sees she sees the people there. She sees the women and the children who are going to die, the people who are going to lose their villages. And that's where her heart goes to, and that's who she wants to protect. But the men can't see that. So when they allow her to lead, lives are saved, people are spared. And I think that's, in my opinion, is the overall sense of what happens when women are allowed to lead freely, because we are because our sensitivity, which is used against us, because we have that, we are able to see beyond the violence, and we're actually able to see straight to the heart. Like, that's who we are. We carry humanity in our bodies, and that doesn't just go away from you. There's a certain heart that not all women, okay? I've watched Snapped, but I'm just saying that I just felt like, for me, that's what I got from this movie, is that this is what happens when women are allowed to lead. And it also is a great example of what happens when we go into wars blindly and we're just fighting each other, but we're not trying to learn from the other side. That, I think it's a great film for everybody involved. I get the controversy, totally understand it, but if you just want to go see a good comic book film and escape and just have a really good time with family and friends, I would say go see Wonder Woman, and do not be discouraged by Batman versus Superman, because I feel like DC is they came to play now. They've taken the notes from the viewers, and they are putting their money into the right places, because I'm looking forward to what they have coming up next. I'm really looking forward to the Justice League. Really, really looking forward to that, because I feel like if they have the same people that they have with Wonder Woman and they take it over to Justice League, we might get something really, really good from them. And I'm excited. I'm excited about the comic book movie battle wars that's about to happen, because it just really makes people step their game up. What you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you another time for another review. Bye, guys.